I'm in the middle of something. I've messed it up.
Okay.
All right. So wait, is this New York, Chris?
This is Hellraiser, Chris.
Oh, yes.
Sick.
Yes.
I think it auto-logged me into a different account than the one I wanted to be in. Isn't that sad? So many great virtual backgrounds saved. I only see a couple here. I like this one.
That one's good.
Under
This one's come through a
construction.
lot. Many Zoom calls have been saved by that photo.
Yeah, but they won't know how cool you are because clearly you skateboard a lot.
Oh no, that's why it's on the wall. I don't.
That's not just what you
I bought a skateboard when I was getting separated because I was like, I'm gonna finally learn how to skateboard and no one's gonna make fun of me for it. And then I didn't.
Was that a thing growing up? People were making fun of you for not skateboarding?
Yeah, also my ex just made fun of it a lot. But I like it. I think it's cool. Also, I had crushes on every skater boy I ever met.
But then you said see you later, boy, right?
Exactly.
Right.
All right, Chris, you recently went to New York.
Oh, is this a vacation?
Not really,
go
but
up?
how many times have you been to New York?
This is my first time.
No, this ain't better than Domino.
First
Okay,
time.
what's your takeaway?
It was a very fun and charming city. If I was 15 years younger, I think I'd be very romanced to want to live there.
I got my money, hey. I got my money, hey. Money!
But no, and out of my 30s, certainly not making the New York City change. It's like Chicago, but with way more population density. So there's just people on the streets all the time, no matter what time of day it is.
How many slices of pizza did you eat? And did you eat them correctly?
Great question. I ate 2 New York slices and 1 Detroit style slice. Now, what is the correct way to eat New York? Do you have a specific? I was supposed to fold it.
I think so.
I did fold and eat one of them. The other one was like a white sauce and it was really heavy. And I think if I folded it, it would have just been like soup in the middle of the pizza.
That sounds really, yeah.
It was great. It was really good.
Is white sauce, that's just Alfredo?
You guys aren't showing off your bookcases on your Zoom call. I feel like that's one of the everyone
Mine's
set up their
in
Zoom.
the other room.
I'm
I just like to
literally
show off my
backed up
plants.
6 inches from the smallest bit of kitchen wall.
I've pretended to read many of the books on this bookshelf, so pretty impressive.
Okay, so yeah, it's essentially an Alfredo sauce. I know you all weren't gonna let that go until you knew what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already forgot you were looking it up.
When did callers call it?
Chris.
We should have asked one of the callers who's going to call in what the white sauce is. When does
Oh
that
my gosh,
happen?
what if we turned this into Who Wants to Be a Billionaire?
That would be slightly fraudulent.
Sure.
We don't have anywhere close to $1 million to give away.
Oh.
That's more of a phone a friend. And I would gladly, I thought maybe this was a call-in show like today. We talking about the latest sports events from last night?
Yeah, we want to hear about all of the
Go for it.
the tournaments that happened.
Are you guys letting me drive the boat?
Sure.
I'm in charge of the
There's
show.
literally, we'd have there's a boat, but say we're in a boat, there's no steering wheel.
Yes.
Oh.
So
I think their word for that is called a drift.
I guess
Well,
we're all
okay, how about this?
paddling.
Oh, we have oars. Okay.
Oars and whores and horse divorce.
Okay.
Where's divorce?
This is a poetry show. Also, do you have a Walgreens mirror behind you?
It is like a wall. It is a concave mirror, but it is from IKEA.
Do you think someone's gonna steal?
Here, like, oh, a cat's rustling behind me.
Speaking of Alexis, hey, what's your shirt say?
Oh, it
Yeah.
says funeral potatoes because I'm a small business husband and I'm here to support the small business.
Yay!
They have an Instagram.
Their Insta.
It is funeral dot potatoes.
Correctamundo, it is funeral dot potatoes.
Did you know that some people consider pizza a casserole?
I have heard that before.
No, you haven't.
Yes,
I've heard deep dish Chicago pizza. You know, if you're like a jerk, you don't like Chicago pizza. One of the jerk things you say is like, deep. That's not real pizza. That's a casserole, man.
Oh,
It's
God.
Oh, wait,
casserole.
can I tell you a story? Okay, so one time my mom came into town and we went to Rickabenny's. So we go in there and she's like looking at the menu. She's like, I don't know, I just want a hot dog. Mind you, she's like a 4'8" like Japanese lady. And so she's like, I just want, give me the Chicago style hot dog. And they said, do you want everything on it? Straight face, she looked at them, she said, I just want it plain with ketchup.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
She thought it was a different kind of hot dog. So
I mean, I don't blame her.
like
They
of
made it
all
for
the
her.
things.
Right. Right.
They didn't look her right in the eyes and say, we don't do that here.
No, they accommodated her. They
That was nice of them.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I've
They
known some
said,
Chicago
they gave her the
establishments that would
kids-
have had a problem.
huh? Oh, yeah, the
I've been
Wiener
to
Circle?
Chicago, spitting her food. Yeah, the Wieners. I mean, the Wiener Circle would do much worse than spitting her food.
I've definitely wanted to go there, but I probably won't ever go there.
I lived by there when I first moved to the city, and I
Oh,
will say
God.
you're not missing anything. It's
Absolutely not.
on earth.
I mean, I feel like I've seen enough since when Conan O'Brien went there,
yeah.
and that one always gets me with the dog. And that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Food is terrible. Like char dog. How
I'm
do you eat
sure.
your hot dogs? Boiled or
You're grilled.
grilled?
You've never grilled or
I
pan
have.
fried?
It's gross.
Pan fry. I
But
feel
that's
like
what they have.
boiling it or like throwing it in the microwave, something I did when I was a kid.
Nothing beats a hard day's work.
You could say that again, boss.
And when a man works hard, he only wants two things.
A nice chair to sit on. And wait, what's the other thing?
An ice-cold boiled Ethan's.
Now there's a dog I can bite.
But
Chris,
no.
are you a boiled or a grilled?
Grilled, baby. And I like it cut in half. I like it like where they butterfly it and then you grill it. So you get the nice grill marks on both sides. You've ever done that? You ever seen that where they cut it in half down the middle? And then
Yeah,
you-
I've seen that.
So you get grill marks on the nice flat side. You want me to ask ChatGPT what's a good segment for a video podcast? Or what do you guys call this again? Sorry. I want to respect the lingo.
Up yours, Chris. We're not remembering.
It's a YouTube extravaganza.
Yeah.
YouTube.
It's called Pretty
It's
Little
a
Dumpster Fire.
yeah. It's a medley.
It's a medley.
Yeah, it's an
Also, we are MILFs.
of topics.
Others I'd like to friend.
MILF, Mothers I'd Like to Friend. I remember that one being pitched.
And then Sanka, we do have stickers. She was handing out yesterday with the QR code.
Yes, Chris
We're gonna make
promised us Logan Square.
Oh, that's-
Everybody's got their turf now.
Put it on a tree. I climbed up. I got to like the second layer of a tree. I put it up there. You think
where
that's-
everyone can see it. That's really
squirrels and stuff.
really nice of you.
They're gonna have to add that into our analytics. How many are humans and how many are like birds and squirrels?
Has anyone done a bit where they shared their screen yet? Would I be innovating to do a share your screen bit?
Okay. We
No,
don't
we
even know what that
haven't
is.
done
What
that.
is that?
Well, let's see if this even works. Because I tried to do the thing where you make your head an animal, and you guys have it.
Just think of this as like a Zoom meeting for like a kindergarten class during the pandemic.
That's why like our original idea to like play video games we thought would be really funny because we're like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
What's happening?
Yeah. I can show you what's happening.
Oh. Wait, can I do this?
uh,
Literally, everybody just drew.
okay, let's enough of that.
Why?
Hey, sorry, Dad.
Hey, what about the time you ran over some frogs?
In one of the small towns I lived in, this was the one in high school, Fergus Falls, Minnesota. My friend Emily was in a horse show. And so she was hanging out with me and I had to drive her back. It was after a storm and we're driving back on these country roads. And next thing you know, and And I'm like, what is going on? Because it's like pitch black, right? I really can't see. So we stop and I turn my brights on to see more. And we're like, what the fuck? And so we keep driving and I have my brights on, and all of a sudden you just see things hopping across the road and fucking frogs. We were just driving over a shit ton of frogs, but it had just stormed like real bad. And so I don't know if they're all just like having a party, and I know where to go, but either straight or just go back right over the ones I already smushed. So
I'm sorry, have I said something wrong?
no, not at all. We're just this is literally how our shows go.
Yep.
Well, I'm loving it. I'm having a blast. Do you know what was great and made me feel not old at all was being in New York City and seeing signs everywhere that said celebrating 20 years of Wicked on Broadway. And
Really?
oh my God, that was 20 years ago, and I had to be driven around by every teenage girl in my town and listen to the Wicked soundtrack for like 3 years straight.
Oh my God.
What was your worst theater experience? Like going to see a show?
One time, a friend of mine was in a community theater production of Hair. It was so bad, we left during intermission, me and my group of friends, and we pretended we stayed for the whole show because we didn't want to hurt his feelings later. We texted him like, "Oh, we didn't stay after to say hi. We just slipped out at the end of the show. So sorry." And I'm sure he saw us there, and I'm sure he knows that we slipped out at intermission. But it was like one of those community theater productions where like a 75-year-old was playing a teenager, and you're like. So I don't know if we were missed. Sometimes I found that sometimes no show is better than 3 people who couldn't give less of a shit.
Yeah.
When I was like 18, 19, me and my buddy Jeff Hansen did this stand-up but it was like right before Kumail was leaving, and he was like the guy everyone was like, Kumail's gonna leave for LA, he's gonna be a star or whatever, and we bet he already had a final Chicago show booked, and we begged him and begged him and begged him to do our show, and he like finally agreed. And 2 people showed up, I think, is all it was, for like an hour-long comedy showcase that we mailed. It's like, hey, Kumail's gonna have another final performance here. I remember that feeling worse.
Give a little bit of loving, just a little bit the real thing. You're the good treasure, my missing piece.
The simple explanation is that you meet in the pods in the terminology of the show. And what the pod is somebody's put up drywall with like a little screen where you can't see the other person on the other side of the room from you. And so you go on dates with people where you don't see them physically. And it's like a 2-week time period, 3-week time period.
Oh, wow.
Crazy like that. You have like a month from beginning to end of the show. That's like how long the time period of the show is. It's crazy. But the idea is you have to propose and get married to somebody in the pods that you have never seen. You've never seen them interact with a waiter. You've never seen them interact with their family. Only interacted with them. Yeah, it's truly an insane. And then of course they get out in the real world and they're like, oh, you're really OCD and incredibly difficult to live with, but love truly must be blind, so I guess I have to marry you.
Oh my God.
That's great. That's great. That's like, remember on the dating game when they had that Rodney Alcala, the serial killer?
Oh, sure.
I remember hearing about
don't know him by name, but I do know what you're talking about.
Wasn't he like super hot though?
Hey, he's okay looking, whatever. It was the 70s. Nobody was super hot.
That's fair. Well,
who? Robert Wagner?
I mean, I think the look of the 70s can be kind of cute, but yeah.
It's coming back in. My nephew has a full mullet with like a mustache. The kid's dad was the other day, he was like, what the hell is up with Ryan? He looks like a 70s porn star.
That's the look. There it is. I mean, I like that look as a woman. I think I went to a wedding once and I was like, I kind of look like a 70s porn star. And I was like, I'm just going to go with it.
Wait, you went to a wedding? What were you wearing?
A wedding. I had these very 70s looking like glasses, like my hair was very like feathered, and I had
Yeah,
like
A
black
ruched
dress on that was
lame dress. Boa or no boa?
no boa. I was boa-less. No boa. No boa for me, no boa for you, huh?
I don't know. Talk to Chris. He's the one that knows all that lingo. Got the New
Oh
York.
yeah, you're
hat.
from New York now.
Yeah, but in Manhattan, we don't really do that. At least not the 3 days I was there.
Oh, okay.
What's your
only
favorite look that's making a comeback right now?
Oh, well, I enjoy the grunge thing.
Yeah.
A coworker of ours who I won't name, not because this is embarrassing, but just because
I'll name them.
But they were like, they told that some customer was talking about their pants, and they said, "Oh no, these are newer Jinkos. If I had older,
Oh, it's
Jebediah.
yeah, but
Neil got a haircut.
I guess you feel free to out. But he said, "Oh, if I had older Jinkos, it would mean I had a really cool dad." And I bit my tongue, but there was a part of me that was like, the kids that wore Jinkos, if you were to have older Jinkos, the kids that wore that Jinkos in my high school, they all met at the top of the gym stairs and in between every break period and during study hall. And they were like the freak kids, you didn't talk to Jinko pants. You were like, oh, those are the freaks. They're carving the Slipknot S into their skin and letting it scar into scar tissue. Nobody watches them when they get home.
Exactly.
Those are the feral kids. Stay away from the feral kids.
we weren't even latchkey
I didn't
kids.
have Jinko jeans, but I had a chain for my knockoff Jinko jeans that I had when I was like 10.
They had the belts that connected the two pant legs.
Yeah. No, I didn't have that. I just had a chain. I think my mom was like, that's too much. So she let me have a chain with the wallet. Which is honestly kind of a genius idea. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Chaining your wallet. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Then no one can steal your wallet. It's connected to a chain.
Except the one thing that sucks is those wallets are like kind of just like open. So I could imagine like if it's flung out, just like all your shit flies out.
I was just
It
gonna
costs
say
$5. So how powerful is that chain? Like if somebody yanks really hard on it, that's probably gonna come right off your pants. But it's about the idea of the security. That's what most security is.
No, it's about the coolness of the chain.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly that.
You're real tough.
And that is the God honest truth.